Welcome back to the Fifth Wheel Podcast. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Sydney.
And this week, we're talking about the one, the only, the very lonely Monaco.
The very lonely Monaco. Yeah, it's kind of, it's that iconic track. It's that, qualifying must mean that that's who's going to win the race every time. Nothing ever happens. It's kind of like its own it's a lone wolf, kind of just a historical just like stand in like you got to have it.
Yeah,
Nothing happens.
nothing ever happens. Except for, I will say, I do have a fun fact on hand. There was one year that something happened. That was it actually 19 somethings happened because in 1993, 22 cars started and only 3 finished because everyone was just crashing.
That is a very fun fact. I mean, not for the
Yeah.
drivers that crashed, but that is indeed a fun fact.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
besides that, no, nothing. Certainly less than 19 things happened this weekend, right?
Mm, there,
I don't think we can say with confidence.
there were definitely in one category of, to be super vague here, starting off in one category of things that happened, there were 6 separate incidents of a thing that happened.
Yeah, uh-huh. And then
Which,
just overall, surely not that many things could happen,
you
right?
know, so obviously we're very poorly foreshadowing, or maybe good. I don't know. We're a little sarcastic. I'm sure that's coming across now. We're very probably poorly foreshadowing that. So let me. A shit ton happened,
That was, yeah, There's no
and
other way to put it. A
and
lot happened.
you remember for the Canadian Grand Prix episode when we were like, oh yeah, cars are smaller. Like maybe stuff will happen in Monaco this year.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, because then sometimes you get whatever the hell happened last weekend.
Yeah.
And I say that as someone who's going to have to talk about a particular event that just really bummed me out.
I think if anyone listening to this knows me or Sydney, you either already know what we're talking about, or you know probably who it involves because you know who we are. But I think, you know what I think? I think we should just cut the vague references to things and just jump right in to qualifying, because you have stuff from qualifying, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, so, the thing is with Monaco is like historically, if you put it on pole, you're probably going to win the race. I mean, stuff happens that isn't always the case. Sometimes you're Charles Leclerc and you put it on pole, and Ferrari is like, "Yo, you should pit stop," and he's like, "Okay," and then they're like, "Wait, psych," and then you don't win the race because that happened a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But historically, like that's what happens, and so it's like qualifying's a big deal. And like coming into the weekend, there was a lot of talk about Ferrari because we're just good on, we've shown that we've been good on slower corners. That's a lot of Monaco. And let me tell you, the hope was hoping going into qualifying
The
because
Ferrari
most of us,
Hopium.
it was P3. Yeah, the hopium was alive and well because
Mm,
FP one, FP2. I don't remember for sure about FP3, but for sure in those first 2 practices, you had a Ferrari. You had both Ferraris topping free practice, which, like, it's practice, but the hopium was there.
the
And then
Hopium's always there.
I, and then I don't know what the hell happened. I honestly, the drivers don't even know what happened because I think it
No.
was Lewis or Charles was like, we don't know. Like we felt really good about the car going into coming out of FP3. We didn't change anything, and then they qualified second or third row, like
Yeah.
decently, but
But
they
not
were
what we were
not.
doing.
I don't know what happened. And then, Charles was on, he put in a pretty decent lap and held preliminary pole for a minute and then had time to go out for another lap and then cut and then he hit the wall. like he skimmed the wall enough that I'm pretty sure he broke his suspension, or like the lap was aborted nonetheless.
Something had
Um,
to, yeah.
yeah, and so Kimmy put it on pole, and then Max was, I think, P2, then it was Charles, then maybe Lewis,
I think Lewis next, and then George.
then the McLarens and George were in the mix. I kind of stopped paying attention after that.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I see where the Ferraris are. Red car there.
Red car there, would have liked red car there, but you know what? I'll take what I can get.
You know what? Red car's still up there. Not all the way up there.
Red
But
car's
up
still
there.
up there. So yeah,
Unfortunately, for any other race, like, that would be okay. But for Monaco, we're like, oh, damn. Red car needs to be up there. But
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was qualifying.
can I do race start? Because I have
Yeah.
some things I would like to say.
Yes, let's just jump right in there.
There's no dilly-dallying at this point. There's nothing left for us to do but talk about it. I mean,
Yep.
to start, first things first, we said Max was P2, and that's what I want to acknowledge. He was P2, and I noticed he did that thing that he does. He pulled into his grid box, and he turned his wheels. He made a fucking threat. And I literally wrote here... So, like, we know when Max does that, it's like, oh, he's coming for you, you better watch out. Here's my word-for-word note. Max's wheels turn inwards, he's gonna... Oh, no, he's not. Because... I'm sorry. It was just
Objectively,
so
it's
funny.
hilarious.
It's so funny because, like, we all know Max, and that is a very real threat. And he said, okay, we're gonna do this. Lights went out, and the car went... Wait, what? Because
Listen, what if I just, like, didn't?
the car decided, no, that's okay. I don't think I will. Like, genuinely, like, it was like he let off the brake when you're, like, at a stoplight and just kind of rolled forward a little bit.
Yeah.
It was quite hilarious, but also a little disappointing. I was really wanting to see Max follow through on that threat that he was making, because it was a real threat.
Where did it go?
And then there was one other thing that happened at the start, and I wrote it down because I felt crazy, and I was like, I'll just delete it later, because I was like typing furiously. So I noticed George, when he pulled up to his grid box, he looked like he went over, and I was like, dude, I swear to God, George is over his grid box. And then nothing happened with that for like a while too. It wasn't even like first few laps where they would mention something like that. It was like halfway through the race that they
were like, oh yeah, we
out.
forgot to talk about this.
Like, hey, by the way, Lando's a snitch, and went, George is out of his grid box.
Yeah.
Which is true, he was.
Yeah, the whole Max thing, I just remember, because when the race started, and because at first, you don't realize that Max's car just didn't go.
No, because the camera shot's like head on, and
because
so it's
they
like,
were coming around that corner, and you see them coming at you, and honestly, I just like forgot that there was supposed to be blue car after teal car, but then there was teal car, red car, and I was like, yes! I was like, Ferraris? And then you see you just see Max dropping down the order, and I was like, and at first I just thought he had a bad start, because the Red Bulls had bad starts so far for the most part this season. And I was like, Max had awful start, drops 20 spots. And then you see the like shot from above. His car just doesn't move.
no, his car literally said, done for the day.
So after the qualifying, you know, they always do the post-qualifying press conference with the top three. And Kimmy told Max, he was like, you know, when the lights go out, just wait 1 second. Because he was like, because Kimmy hasn't held on to pole at a race start so far. He's you know, gotten it back. I mean, he'd won 4 races coming into Monaco in a row. And so he like jokingly to Max was like, you know, when the lights go out, just wait 1 second.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then Max's car said, And I took that personally.
Yeah. And you know what? I think I will. He said that to me, right?
Yeah. And
Literally.
so it's just like, he's basically out before the
Uh-huh.
race starts, even the race had started.
Yeah.
And and we get what I can only just say is like a Max Verstappen like just golden nugget interview answer that just is going to go into that Hall of Fame, because it's like, when you go out early, they put you in the media pen to talk about what happened, blah 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 blah.
Immediately.
So somebody asks him essentially of like, so what are you going to do now? He no lie, point blank, I'm going to go home.
Yeah, he lives there. There was that clip, I'm sure you've seen it, of him pointing to the building that he lives in, him and Charles, like just inadvertently pointing to like the floor he lives on that building. So I mean, we know he could go there. It's right there. And he
Yeah,
could you
he
know what?
got
He
on
could
his
watch the
yacht and
race
went
from it.
home.
He
Yeah,
can watch the race from his porch. So,
he got on his yacht and went home. And
what a
honestly,
phrase. What a
it's
phrase. He got
giving
on his yacht and went home.
no, literally, like it's giving when Kimi Raikkonen went out like really early on a Monaco Grand Prix, and then like middle of the race, it cuts to him just in the hot tub on his yacht.
Yep, that's exactly what it gave.
And like objectively, again, like I said, that's hilarious.
It's very
But it was
funny.
so unfortunate for Max.
It was. And I love Max, so I'm never gonna wish any ill will upon him. It would have definitely been a more interesting race if he had stayed. It was already a very interesting race, but I think there would have been even more chaos with him.
I think you're
Um,
right.
and I think if anybody had the ability to pass in this race, it would probably have been him. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know. And so, between at the start, then there was a really large chunk where absolutely nothing happened. Like we had typical Monaco.
We did.
I think in some point from of this, Valtteri's car was overheated, so he retired the car.
Yep.
Something was
Ollie
wrong
had
with
a wing
Ollie's like
issue.
gearbox, and so he retired. And then,
Can I say one thing?
yeah,
Just like kind of silly. There was one small event that happened in the boringness, and by event I mean something that happened while I was sitting on my couch at home. And that was the Apple TV, F1 TV, whatever, you know how they've taken that over now. I literally, word for word, on my notes app was typing Apple TV, F1 TV, get your fucking shit together and do the distance from the person in front of them, not the leader. Because they were doing that thing again where it's like, distance from the leader. The moment I clicked like enter on that note, it changed back. And so then my next note is, thank you, CIA officer, for fixing that for me. The
nice.
FBI agent in my phone, whatever.
Yeah, they
Anyway,
they they were looking out for you in that moment.
for lack of a better term, that is the most interesting thing that happened until about laps like 55 or 60.
Yeah,
So,
and mind you, before this, we got a whole bunch of pit stops, but
mhm.
but we didn't quite have what I consider to be, I think, the first domino.
Yeah.
So we had a whole lot of nothing. Like I was sitting there because like I was kind of excited after everything with Max happened, because I was like stuff might be happening. And then nothing happened, and I
And
was
then
like,
nothing happened.
I was sitting there, and I should have known about the time I had this thought that it was going to change, because I was like, man, I was like already thinking, I was like, what are we going to talk about? I was like, I mean, we would have found something. I have no doubt about that. But I was like, what are we going to talk about? And then,
Mhm.
so you remember all those pit stops that I mentioned that had
Yeah.
happened, or like some of them that had started happening?
Yeah, why'd you
Well,
mention those?
well, we get a a little like, ooh, like incident of like, hey, we're looking into this, like, ooh, we're FIA, like, hey, just want to let you know, like, we're looking into this, that they're looking into Lewis for speeding in the pit lane.
Uh-huh. And I was like, "Okay. All right."
That's domino one falling. So
Just like flicks it. And then
yeah, and normally not like a super common penalty that you see a lot of in a race.
No, I was very
Like
surprised
there
at it. I was like, "Oh,
because like usually it's they know not to do that or you will get a penalty. Like that's one of those just indisputable penalties that the FIA has. Like,
Yeah. It's a
if you
safety
go
issue.
in, yeah, yeah. So you get Lewis. Well, then a certain amount of time later, come to find out, George gets a speeding in the pit lane penalty.
I'm like, it's weird that it happened twice, but okay,
Yeah,
sure.
and then not that long later, Franco gets one,
Uh-huh.
and
And
then
then
I
Pierre
think
Gasly.
Lando retires from the race at some point.
I literally said here, okay, Lando's gone by.
Yeah, he had engine issues. He was there.
Yeah.
They talked about it, and then he was gone. And then and then
They very
Oscar,
much brushed over that. They were just like,
yeah,
oh, by the way, Lando's gone.
because everybody, it's like Leonardo DiCaprio, like when he was thrown in what is
Wolf of
oh
Wall
my god, the
Street.
movies that he's what movie am I
Wolf of
thinking
Wall
of?
Street.
Wolf of Wall Street. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
That was escaping me. Um, Instead of throwing money, like literally just doling out 5-second time penalties for speeding in the pit lane. Oscar
Mhm.
gets one. I don't remember when they happen, but Pierre gets two.
Pierre gets
Two of them.
two. Um,
So,
and then George got a second one for crossing the line at the pit exit too.
yeah. So, at some point in this, I don't remember which penalty came first, chicken or the egg. Doesn't really matter because he comes in. Actually, no, I'm going to hold on to this because this is because of Lance Stroll, why George came into the pit lane again.
Uh-huh.
We're going to
Uh-huh.
pause on that. Anyways, but for those keeping count, that is 6 speeding in the pit lane penalties.
Uh-huh.
That's too many. And like that's one of those of like, hey guys, like I'm just saying that is enough variety in enough teams and enough drivers. Like something
What's
in your
happening?
sensor is wrong.
I think honestly, like either it's the new cars and they're just not used to how quickly they accelerate, or like maybe Monaco just changed the pit lane speed limit and just didn't tell anyone. Like I can
No.
picture them doing that. I can totally see them
Like
doing that.
it genuinely is like if I had a nickel for every time, like except it's not just 2 nickels. We have
It's
6
six nickels.
nickels.
We've got sixels.
We got 6els. I shouldn't have 6. I shouldn't even really have 2.
I shouldn't have
But
any
like,
nickels. I'm cashless.
yeah. And so and the thing is, in themselves, those penalties aren't all that interesting. It
No.
is from the sense of just like the sheer magnitude of them, but like that was kind of the only bit of entertainment in between Max and Lance Stroll being Lance Stroll.
Yeah, I put Lance in the wall. What's new?
So yeah, I was like, haha, Lance into the wall. So yeah, you get all of these penalties, and it's like, I'm just sitting here trying to figure out why. And then, yeah, you get, so Lance Stroll just comes around the corner, bends it, is in the wall, like head on, I think on that final turn. And you watch the onboard, and I unfortunately I will give Lance some credit of like this wasn't just you being Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
You watch the onboard, and there's no lie, like a 10 to 15 foot stretch of pavement, like just lengthwise, probably about a foot wide, of like recently
And like
paved
this
asphalt
deep.
that is just all sorts of fricked up. Like you can see,
Yeah.
like basically, like took off the first layer of asphalt, and you're getting into all of the like aggregates
Yeah, someone
to
took a
give you the
peeler.
technical term. Like you're getting like a whole, like it basically is just breaking down this newly laid asphalt.
Yeah.
And you know, usually when an F1 tire or a car picks up a whole bunch of like rubber marbles or like gravel pieces, it's not usually good. And so it's
No,
like,
and well, the thing about those like pit like little like what's the word? Oh my god, pothole. I was saying pit hole. Those potholes, if you're just like the average Hannah or Sydney in your Mazda or your Toyota, like a freaking pothole's nothing. But when you're an F1 car and you are quite literally like a hair's width away from the
Yeah.
ground, that is like that's like driving half of your car into a ditch. Like
Yeah.
that's gonna fuck you up, dude. That's
So it's
gonna
like,
mess you up.
whether it was the combination of just like the dip in the pavement or picking up the debris, his front wheel locks up and he has no choice but to hit the wall. And so this naturally brings out a safety car because it was like where he was stopped, and Monaco's
Yeah.
super thin, and it was right near the pit entrance exit, whichever one. It doesn't matter. Brought out a safety car, which then begins what I will consider the first larger domino.
Uh-huh.
Because
A few dominoes had to accumulate to push this one over.
yeah. All of these speeding in the pit lane penalties. Then you get Lance Stroll. Like we're at a bigger domino. They've accumulated. Well, in a safety car, most of the time, a lot of drivers will pit. Monaco, I think they still require. I don't even did they. I don't know if they were required for 2 stops. Doesn't matter. Everybody stopped again, and this is important. Very important in the case of George Russell, because they tell George to come in, or George just comes in. I think that was the thing. I don't know that he was supposed to come in after Kimi, but he did anyway. And if you remember, about maybe like 5-10 minutes ago, we brought up the fact that George Russell received a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Normally when that happens and you then have a pit stop, you serve the penalty where you're there, they don't touch your car for 5 seconds, you've served your penalty, then you can go on your merry way, so that your penalty doesn't get added on at the end. And you have to serve those penalties that you have that are existing if you pit, because then otherwise it's considered like a sporting advantage, because it's like you could shake up the order enough and then hold up the pack so that blah, 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 blah.
Right, exactly.
Well,
and so
here comes George Russell, and they touch his car immediately.
The team just immediately is like, what penalty? I didn't hear that.
Yeah. And everybody, the announcers are like, we don't know why they're not serving his penalty. They're supposed to do that. And they're like, yeah, he's probably going to get another penalty because you're not supposed to do that.
And then what happened?
I think he got another penalty.
I think he might have got, based on the facts of the situation, I would like to believe that he did. And he did.
If you're a betting man or woman, betting on George Russell having received another penalty after failing to serve his current penalty he already had
in Monaco 2026, you would have been rich man. It's just so interesting to me because it's like it's not his fault, and then like it's just it added to the conglomerate snowball, I like to say, of George Russell's day in Monaco. Because it was quite interesting. He also, like, before the penalty, I believe, on the radio, kept asking them questions about it, like, I need to know. He was very angry about it. It was very obvious. And they're like, they basically pulled a we are checking. They're like, we're looking into it. We're looking. And I kept thinking, we are checking.
We are checking.
And then he pulls in and they're like, sorry, what? Did you ask us for something? Did you ask us to check on something?
We're just gonna give you some new tires and send you on your way.
Yeah, we'll figure that out later. Surely it's not a time-sensitive thing at all.
Yeah. There wasn't anything we're forgetting.
No. And then meanwhile, Kid in the Rain.
Literally.
I feel like I forgot something. And so that was quite interesting. Yeah. And then after that, I had something, if you don't mind me taking the hypothetical F1 wheel for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, because then our next major event comes after, immediately after race restart, if that's where we're headed.
It is, and I would like to explain kind of what happened in real time for me. So,
pain and sadness.
I'm on the couch. Race restart. I'm watching. And like, this is great race restart because Kimi had been running away with it the entire time. So now we've got Kimmy, Lewis, Charles, I believe, right?
Yeah, because
Kimmy, Lewis, Charles.
genuinely,
And
up until this point, we're looking
we're
pretty
looking all
good
right.
for a Ferrari double podium, which is
Right.
big news in the year 2026.
We're looking really good for that. And so it goes Kimmy, Lewis, Charles. And I'm watching them turn corner, turn corner, turn corner. And it goes teal car, red car, red car. Teal, red, red. Teal, red, red. And then I swear I felt like Superman for seeing this. And it wasn't even like that obvious. It was just the most subtle thing ever. So we're watching these cars kind of turn a corner, and it's like the scene cuts off. It goes like, and then but like the very tiniest slight little like I see a flash of red just kind of go the opposite direction for a second, but it's like a millisecond, and I'm like, surely I mistook something. But then I keep watching, and then it goes teal car, red car, teal car, or like a red
Blue car,
blue car, blue car. It was blue car, blue and pink car, I think. And I was like, there seems to be
something is there. Actually, something is missing that should be there.
And so I tell Parker before like anything's been like really processed or even like anything. I go, Parker, Parker, and he goes, what? And I go, I swear I just saw a car drive off. And he goes, rewind, because we watched late. Like, it was like 11 a.m. at this point. And so I backtrack, and we're watching, and Parker goes, oh my god, he drove off. And I'm like, but where is he? And it takes a good 20 to 30 seconds for them to even show, and Charles is in the wall. And I'm like, okay. And so what happened here? Like, what? I don't know. And so you watch the replay. It was his brakes. Like literally. Ooh, hit the mic. Well,
I would say brakes and combo of the exact same thing that took Lance Stroll out.
Yeah, right. It's why were his brakes not working? Because
he had a
and so you literally see the onboard camera, his wheels like all the way to the right, tires all the way to the right, but he is driving straight.
Yeah,
he is driving straight, and he has
literally
another classic Charles radio message. He comes on, and Sassy Charles is back.
These brakes, man.
I'm not even going to take the fucking blame here. These fucking brakes I wrote from Charles and Fair. At what cost have we gotten Sassy Charles back? That cost exactly, actually, is the end of our 100% finishing record for Ferrari for the year.
What?
Did you even know we had that? Did you even know You never know what you have until it's gone.
Because I just assumed one of our cars.
You always assume one of us is dead at this point. Someone's already in a ditch, someone's in the pit, someone's sitting on the grass, mourning their life choices.
And you're telling me it's Charles in Monaco.
Have you heard of anything more tragic?
Son of a bitch, Charles. That's literally the so can we just son of a bitch, Charles. Pain is all I know. Just pain. I said he locked that. And so it was like he did what Lance Stroll did, which he's like what if I did the exact same thing? Like, how funny would that be? But
he goes, you know what? I look up to my mentor in life, Lance Stroll, and I'm gonna do exactly as he does.
And it's just like, then you see like the shot. They had this just like beautifully brutal like overhead shot of him just walking back to the pit lane.
It's so
and
sad.
It was just like, and it was one of those of like, I was like, Charles, and it's Monaco, and it was just like, we genuinely like because by that point we were past pit stops. Like, what tires you were on, you were going to finish the race. So
we were so close.
Something stupid happened. We were going to get a Ferrari double podium, and it was going to be beautiful.
We had like less than 10 laps left.
Yeah. And so then Charles goes out, and I genuinely, I think that this happened because it's like Charles is the pride and joy of Monaco. Literally, they red flagged the race because of the pothole. So we red flag Monaco, and I shit you not. I think at one point there were like, it's like one of those, it's like the meme of like construction where there's like 10 dudes gathered around a hole and they're just looking down into it.
Mm-hmm.
That was this. Like there were 10, 12 dudes just around this portion of track, just like, huh,
Yeah,
what are we
'cause
going to do?
it's one of those situations where like you can't just simply like put something over it, because if you think back to the very, very first Las Vegas Grand Prix, a fucking pothole in the ground, the
The
sheer
drain cover.
suction, the drain cover of like this in the suction of an F1 car with how much downforce it has, it will simply like catapult it into space. And so it's not like you can just casually like lay something down real quick. Like that's not gonna happen. Like it's not.
Let me put a rug over it. It'll be fine.
No, like seriously, like what are we gonna do at this point? What did we do? I didn't even like pay attention to what they did. I just
They
saw that they
red
were working on it.
flagged, and then at that point, I think I think we were just in a period of like shock and mourning that I didn't pay super attention to what they were doing to the road. I know
Yeah.
they were sweeping, they like broom swept a lot of like the debris that the cars had picked up from running over this patch of asphalt that was just
Yeah.
deteriorating. And so they did that. I don't know if they like tried to quick patch it or whatever they did. I think they cleared off the debris. Um, and because the race was stopped for a while. Like I was watching it live and I don't remember what time it was, but like it was red flagged for a while because
It
there
was.
was there was talk about them of like, you know, we don't know, the race may not resume.
Right.
Because by that point, like I think we were getting close to that window of like however many laps or 2 hours. And so it was like the race was red flagged for a while.
It was.
And then we finally, or go ahead.
I was just gonna say, me and Parker are lucky that we watched late because we could fast forward, and we had to
Yeah.
fast forward like a chunk.
It was a good, like it was a while.
It was a while.
And
Like
so,
you know, it's bad when the drivers get out of their not only get out of their cars, they take off their race suits for a bit and start
Yeah.
interviewing. You know, you're in for a while. Like,
hmm
yeah,
Yeah, we were getting lots of like in the race content out of active driving. And finally, whatever they did, they were like, "Yeah, we'll just let's keep going. We've only got like, you know, a handful of laps left. You know, I'm sure nothing else really bad for, you know, our fans that love Ferrari and Williams will happen."
no, certainly nothing.
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. So race start. And at this point, I was texting a coworker and had messaged them about Charles, and I was like, "Yeah, I should have known it was going to be too good to be true." And then I was watching with Walter, and he had to go take Remy, their Maddie and Walter's adorable little dachshund, out, and so we paused it. And I got a text that basically implied that something bad happened to a Williams driver. And I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, cool, awesome. So then I'm already just like watching a little bit on edge. And then there's really not a better way to put this other than like Carlos just does it. It's not even attempted murder. Carlos's car just gets murdered.
Yeah. I'm like we're
Yeah, and you know how you brought up the fact that we lost the streak of the 100% race finish for Ferrari. Yeah, that ended Carlos's 100% points. No, yeah, 100% point scoring streak in Monaco. And like,
damn it.
yeah, and the thing is the Williams, I don't quite remember the exact placement, but like Carlos was running either like 9, 10, or 11. Like the likelihood of him getting points was pretty good.
Oh yeah,
No.
it was very looking towards another Williams double points.
Yeah, except no.
No. What if they
No.
didn't?
No.
What if they didn't?
What if it didn't? Yeah,
What if they didn't?
what if we just didn't?
You know what? We took there's two drivers that Hannah and Sydney love the most out of anyone. And you know what Monaco said? What if we like got rid of both of them?
Monaco said, "Hey, remember when you wanted stuff to happen? What if I just like murdered both of your favorite drivers?"
No, literally, we were like, oh, what a boring race. Like, something happened. They're like, okay. Just stabbing them.
It's just like pain.
Pain. Pain.
But like, what's new? What's new,
No,
honestly?
I mean, I've been waiting for this, unfortunately. We've
Yeah.
had too much luck with Ferrari this year. And I hate that, like, I feel like we're gonna say this every season, even when they eventually win another world championship. We're just gonna be sitting there, like, killing ourselves waiting for the
Uh-huh.
other shoe to drop.
Because
Um,
it could be mathematically impossible for them to lose, and I still
and
won't
they
believe
do
you
it.
until like because let me tell you, if there was a team that could find a way to lose a championship when it's literally mathematically impossible, it's
It
Ferrari.
would be them. They would do something to get themselves disqualified or to,
It'd
I
be
don't
a
know.
whole like, hey, remember how you did this for like the whole season? So literally half of your wins don't count.
Right. No, exactly. It would they would do it, and I think they will
Uh-huh.
at some point. So I want to go ahead and start prematurely grieving that. We need to be
Yeah.
prepared.
I
And
mean,
you know what? That is a trauma response. That is a trauma response. We have been conditioned to expect
I
pain.
expect the worst.
So to do with that information what you will. Maybe talk to your therapist about it. I know I will. So,
Yeah, it just, God, that really sucked. But
it
then,
really sucked.
I will say, because of that, you had another really unfortunate event, but also really, really cool event happen as a result of the other unfortunate event happening. So, but you were talking about how you should have seen teal red red, and then you saw like teal
Uh-huh.
red. Is that an Alpine?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Because yes, it was.
It was an
Pierre
Alpine.
genuinely was running P3 after that point. Like they
He
had
was.
had a good race, like but but the thing is,
Oh
yeah,
yeah. There's some
what the
wait,
hell is a polar bear doing in Arlington, Texas?
don't get to post race just yet cuz there is one more thing about the race that I do need to say.
Okay.
It's very small. And again, it's just a note that I wrote, but I think it's very important to share it. You know how a while ago we talked about, hey, George didn't serve that penalty. We're on lap 74 of 75. And I write in my notes, I say, George, please serve your penalty. We're cutting it kind of fucking close. Like, he's not gonna serve it. Like, he's not gonna serve it. There's no way that happens. So anyways, I just thought I'd put that out there. Um, it's just another thing, and it does actually very much apply to what you were about to say. And so, why don't we just tie them all in together?
Yeah, so,
So continue your thing. Yeah, so,
George doesn't serve a penalty.
no,
Therefore, whatever he's accumulated just gets added to your time at the end and then drops you way down the order.
way down.
And then Pierre, when we were talking about the like literal oodles and oodles of of speeding in the pit lane penalties that were doled out, Pierre had racked up two. And well, and it was that, and I think it were those balloons?
Yeah, wait. I forgot that I have them. You know how MacBooks do that?
Oh, it's because you have a Mac, you have an Apple. Okay, so for anybody, wow, okay, this is good. I mean, 38 minutes, 39 minutes until our squirrel. So for those that are not watching and are just listening, you know that feature on iPhones, like on FaceTime, when you do like a heart and it does hearts, you do a peace sign, it does balloons, you do thumbs down, it rains, you do a rock on, and you get like lasers behind you. Hannah just did a peace sign, and then
No, I
balloons
did two
showed
because
up.
two penalties. Two
Yeah,
penalties. So I
two
went two.
penalties, peace sign, and then the balloons um
Congratulations
celebrated
on
the
your two
fact that
penalties. Congratulations.
we're not celebrating the fact that Pierre got two penalties, promise, because I really, really felt bad for him in this moment.
Congratulations, it's twins and they're both penalties.
Yikes. So because of this, like And oh my God, I felt so bad
I
for
felt
him
so bad for him.
because he would have podiumed at Monaco. Not only
And that
podiumed at
was,
Monaco, but podiumed in an Alpine at Monaco. Like that would
which
have
would
been
have been probably,
huge.
that would have been a huge deal. And it honestly already was. It was a huge deal.
Yes. And it was like and his onboard is honestly heartbreaking because the team I don't think told him
They didn't tell him.
definitively. And like and there was a chance that because of like the whole speeding in the pit lane issue that they may have recalled those, but then it's like at that point you run into this whole, well, some people served them, some people didn't. What do you do in that case? Because then you cannot say what would have happened because of like some served, some didn't, and it's just a hot mess and a half. Well, because of this, Pierre does not get P3. But
He gets P7.
unfortunate event, then kind of fortunate event, well, who inherits P3 and gets the podium? Isaac.
Hajar. We got a Hajodium.
Isaac Hajar. We got a Hajodium at Monaco?
You know what though? We've talked about this many a time. Every time we talk about Isaac, I feel like this comes up. And he manifested this Hajodium himself with that F2 last minute reaction time
Yes.
from like years ago. I think about it all the time. Every time I think of
Yeah.
Monaco and every time I think
Every
of
time I
Isaac.
see the tunnel.
Yep, every time I see the tunnel I think of Isaac and I'm like, that's insane. So he put that into the universe and he got it. Unfortunately, it was at the cost of Pierre Gasly's self-esteem. But you know what?
Yeah.
There will be more
And-
podiums for Alpine. I say that confidently, and I know I shouldn't, but I am saying that confidently.
Because I mean, my
This
coworker
season, they've
called
been
it.
great.
Alpine is kind of good, and
Question
I
mark?
question mark. It's wild. But yeah, so our podium has been. We haven't mentioned a whole lot about Kimi because again, he just kind of ran away with it.
He is kind of pulling a Max Verstappen or
A little bit
Oscar
right now.
Piastri in the first half of last
He's
season.
on a bit of a hot streak right now.
He is. I'm so proud of him. I am
I
very
am
proud
too.
of him.
And it like us not mentioning him, it's literally that like JJ and the jet plane meme where it's like he's just like flying off into the distance and then there's just like bombs going off behind him because that's what happened. I mean, like completely unbothered, laps his teammate, gets his 5th win in a row.
Which is crazy for someone
It's
as young as he is.
Crazy. I mean, like he is breaking all of these records because he is a child. And so you've got your 5th win in a row for Kimi. Then you've got P2 of Lewis, which like loved seeing him on the podium again. It literally was Lewis and his children because you had him, Kimi, and then Isaac. And like it literally, there are these pictures of like Lewis, you know, fairly early in his career with Kimi as an even younger child. Lewis earlier in his career with Isaac as an even younger child. And not only that, not only do these pictures exist, I don't know if you remember this, but I think it was one of the Grill the Grids last season where they did like a mashup of like the forehead was a driver, the eyes were a driver, and the mouth was a driver.
Was it Kimi, Lewis, Isaac?
There was one that was a combination of Lewis's forehead, Kimi's eyes, and Isaac's mouth. And there's a clip of Lewis pointing at it.
That is so funny.
What do you mean we have a podium that was Lewis, Kimi, and Isaac, and we have their faces mashed? What are the odds?
That is so funny. And that, you know what? That's going in the thumbnail, I think.
Yeah, I have the picture. Don't worry. I already have it saved for your convenience.
Perfect. Thank you. I need that.
Like, that in itself was just crazy. And then it was just such a fun podium. It was a fun Lewis podium. And his children. In the cool-down room, I mean, Kimi damn near sat down on Lewis. He was so close to him. It was really, really cute.
And you know what? Also, there's 2 other people that we need to congratulate that also got to jump in the ocean.
Kind of another really like fortunate, unfortunate circumstance.
Yeah. So V-Carb, double points.
Yeah.
The only double points.
Oh my God, their post for that was so good.
It gives, you know, that meme of like the guy that was like that's on the podium like celebrating with champagne and everyone looks at him and it turns out he's not in first place, he's in like third. That's what it feels like to watch them, except everyone's happy for them.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It's just they're so interesting. The V carb Instagram, social media, everything they do just needs to be studied in a good way. It's all
Yes,
incredible. Everyone
absolutely.
there needs a raise, except probably the
Absolutely.
drivers. I think they have enough money. Actually, you know what? They're probably underpaid because they're pretty young. And I think that we need to have more V carb appreciation, which I say as we probably do like every single episode at some point mention V carbs.
'Cause they're
Social
just
media,
again consistently knocking it out of the park with
they
their
are.
like
They are the
all forms of
personality hire of F1, easily.
yeah. Yeah.
They're the personality hire of all the teams. I do have a little quotey quote that I did want to say because, you know, we're talking about how everything finished out. The current championship standings are now Kimmy,
Yeah.
Lewis,
Yeah.
and then George. And so, haha, we're moving up in the world, Ferrari. But
Crazy.
um, Lewis had a quote like last week before Monaco saying, right now it's Kimmy's to lose. Like so many
Yeah.
points ahead. I've got nothing to lose. Like, and then Kimmy being 19, you know, and only having just won his first few races, naturally, when asked about this, goes, how can I lose something I haven't achieved yet?
Hey, baby.
Like, I genuinely, like, don't even think that he's like, how can I lose? I think he's genuinely like, wait, what? Like, I think he's probably like, why did George say that? That doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
Like, it's funny, but also not.
it
But
is.
also,
How can I lose something I don't have?
that's not how to live. But like,
This is
it's just so
hard.
funny. I feel it feels like George is just beefing with a 6-year-old, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
he, I understand that he's frustrated. I understand that he went into this year thinking it's his year. And he's great, and I understand he's been there longer. It's probably really difficult to see someone younger than you just come in and just sweep it out from under you in the sense. But also, like, why is so much of his anger directed at Kimmy?
Know if it's necessarily directly directed at Kimmy.
But it looks
I
like it.
think it just
It's kind
I
of
think
rubbing
there's
off.
yeah, and I think that there's not really a good way to perceive it other than it being that. Honestly, I feel like if anything, he's probably more frustrated with himself and is just
Definitely.
so bad at conveying that, and it just comes off it comes off spoiled and like entitled, but I don't think that's what he's going for.
No, I completely agree. I am 100% in line with you. I think he is truly just upset with himself. I don't think he's actually mad at Kimmy. Maybe from last race when they kind of had their little scuffle, but like that's a
Yeah.
circumstantial situation. I think overall he's frustrated with himself and his own performance and maybe just the circumstances. However, that like so we all know that these F1 drivers come from a lot of money. I don't know if it's just cuz like he isn't the most socialized of the bunch, like his social skills in conveying these things are not going well, or maybe it's just because he's rich that he kind of comes off as like a petulant child in a little bit. And I love George. I don't mean that in like a mean
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like it comes off as like meh, you know, like I don't know. That's a
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
bad way to say it, but in because I do love George. I'm not one of those people that's like George is being all whiny, blah, blah, blah. Like I do think he is active, like are accurately reflecting that blame on himself, but it just
Yeah.
doesn't look like it, and it's not making
No.
the George haters any less angry, and it's not making hate, but it's not making the memes any less
That's true.
bad.
That's true.
So we're
Yeah.
getting a
So
lot of great content from it.
I did feel a little bad for him.
I
But
do.
yeah, so jumping back to that other like positive negative. So damn near made the absolute like roller coaster that Parker went on thinking that Cadillac was going to get their first points because
Mm,
Checo was running P10 and finished P10.
and then
And then and then because he had a penalty that he hadn't served, just dive bombs down the order because they had bunched up from the red flag.
they had
Well, Who inherits 10th place, you ask? Oh, no one other than our beloved grandfather on the grid and fellow Gen Z memer, Fernando Alonso, and gives
Literally.
Aston Martin their first points for the season.
Seriously. He goes, wait a minute. I'm supposed to have points by now.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Like,
I
so
just,
it's just like, you're like, oh yeah, like, way to go, Aston Martin. You went from paralyzing death trap to getting a point.
you got 1 point.
At 1 point.
1 point.
You get
Good
one
job.
wife.
You
Sorry,
told it right
New
here.
Girl. That was a New Girl reference for
Yes.
those that.
You get one wife. You get your 1 point. Just hold it really close. Don't lose it.
And it
Because it's
said,
only one.
haha, psych.
Psych. So
I did
I'm
feel
glad
bad
it's
for Checo and for Cadillac.
I do.
Because,
I really want Cadillac to do well, but it's
yeah,
gonna
and
take time. That's not how
it is.
F1 works.
But you have to, you gotta admit, I mean, for being a brand new team, they're not doing bad. Are they getting points? No. Do they have some car reliability issues? Yes. But for a brand new team that's not going to get rebranded as Gucci, we haven't even touched that.
We did. We talked about last time. We literally have Pierre and Colapinto in our thumbnail.
Sorry,
dripped
forgot
out.
that happened. Time is an illusion. I kind of blacked out. My bad, y'all.
If
Anyways,
anyone wants to know what it's like being friends with us, I think each of us probably once a day, maybe once a day, but probably definitely at least once a week. We go, oh my god, wait, did I tell you about this? And then the other person goes, yeah, 2 times already, actually.
yeah.
But it's not even like a yeah 2 times. It's like yeah 2 times. Like that's still really cool. That's happening. You know, like
and it's this. Yeah, it's not a one-off or even like a bi-weekly would be nice. No, this is like weekly.
Hey, but it's kind of nice having like short-term memory with your best friend because you get to relive a bunch of happy moments together.
Not as justifying short-term memory loss.
Hey. Oh wait, yeah, you passed your PE exam. I'm kidding. I already knew about that, and I will say it again. She did pass her PE exam, but I will pretend to forget that just to celebrate it again.
Geeks. But yeah, no. So, anyways, yeah, Cadillac, like they're doing bad, but they're doing good.
They're doing bad, but they're doing good.
Yeah.
They come across as like I don't know, like branding and stuff. I think it's good for a team that's like fresh on the grid. So I'm excited to see where they go. I'm hoping that they can pull an Alpine in a few years and just start working their way up. But also, we need to think about something. There's a lot of underdogs that we're rooting for. We can root for them all day long, but if they go up, someone has to come down. So we gotta be really careful what we wish for here. We can root for Cadillac to do better, but we can't do it enough that there's too many people that we're wanting to do well that our two boys, Charles Lasines, Carlos Lasines, that's it.
Carlos
Lasines. Or Max, or anyone that we care about, which is most of them, unfortunately.
It really is.
Unfortunately for our mental health, we care about all of them. But we gotta be really careful who we prioritize in our prayers here. It's a whole careful what you wish for. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Oh my god, it's exactly the quote that Joseph Newgarden gave at IndyCar. Yes, it's Christmas, but not everyone gets a present. And that's just how it works. It's like not everyone can win. Not everyone can be in the points all the time. So, but
and damn, was this one a doozy?
Yeah, there is one thing that happened after the race that I would like to talk about. Or we don't even have to talk about it. I just have to mention it because I see a lot of hate on certain people in F1, certain people's partners in F1 that it happens from time to time. You know, there's all these things that happen. And, you know, we've talked about Lewis dating Kim Kardashian for a minute. And, you know, we got our feelings on it, and it is what it is. And at this point, up until the moment I'm about to tell you about, I was like, you know, what the fuck ever. Like, live his fucking life. Like, if it's hypocritical because he talks about billionaires having too much money, it is what it is. Let the old guy live his glory days a little bit here. Let him have his midlife crisis in a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Because he's podiuming, so it's fine. But I watched this video and I don't think my blood has ever boiled like it did. Like I actually like I'm surprised at how angry I got over it, and I'm not like someone that gets angry over things like this. But Kim Kardashian is at the race and is walking past like the where the guys park their cars and then they grab their water bottle, they put their helmet.
She's headed to the podium.
She's headed to the podium because her boyfriend's there. And they've got those little like blocks, and like we've got that really good picture of Charles sitting on it drinking water. That cameraman knew what he was doing. Those blocks. They've got a water bottle. They put their helmet on, and then there's like a towel that they grab. Mm-hmm. It's kind of obvious that like those are for the drivers. It's only not like there's a pile. There's 3 of them.
And the podium has 3.
And they're also labeled 1, 2, and 3. They're labeled P1, P2, P3, and there's like there's one thing of each on it. There's one water bottle. There's one towel. It's like meant for someone specific. And there's just this video of Miss Kimberly, and she's walking past Kimmy, and maybe it's because it said Kim on it. Maybe it's because it said Kimmy. Maybe she thought it was for her. But she walks past it and she sees the towel, and she just grabs it and keeps walking, and then starts like dabbing her head with it, like, and it's like you can tell it's a towel. It's a towel for like the winner of the race. It is like a nice commemorative towel, and like it's just like, do you have no awareness, no spatial, and you know why I think it boils my blood so much? Because my biggest pet peeve in the whole world is when people aren't considerate of others. Like, sure, punch me in the face, whatever. But if you double park because you just weren't considering that other people need to do things too, that just makes me so angry.
Yeah.
And so and
it was one of those. Again, yeah, we've been, and you know what, Lewis, continue to live your life, date who you want to date. You got free will. But it's like,
but have her bring her own towel next time.
I think that video just kind of proved why a lot of people were just having an issue with the Kardashians in the paddock, is because of things like that. And not saying that all other celebrities are innocent. There have been some that have done dumb shit too. But it's just like, cameras are going to be on you the entire weekend. And like, you know what? Maybe she was just airheaded enough in the moment that she didn't know. But
also, like, you got to think about it. If that's there, you have to think of, like, imagine thinking that you can, like, seriously just take something.
Yeah.
Whether it belongs to you or not. Like, it's so one of those
hard. I feel like I'm grasping at straws trying to justify it, and I don't even really want to justify it because she shouldn't have done it. And like, it's a towel. It's a little silly, but it's just, I think it's just, you're right. Like, it's the concept of it. Like, the situational awareness just wasn't there.
No, it wasn't. And it's one, situational awareness, but 2, like, there's no world in which your situational awareness is low enough that you are, like, just actively taking something that is very clearly not yours. Like, it's not even like it looked like a pile of towels that she could grab one. It was very clearly like, hey, this is for the driver.
Yeah.
Like, and like, just no consequences. You know what I mean? Like, anyways, I don't want to rant about that for too long on my own part. You can keep going if you want to. I
think we're good.
I'm going to go in circles.
We could with anything in this race for forever, because I have no word for it other than it was just a doozy. Like, Monaco was a doozy. I feel like I got sucker punched. I don't want to say never, because it's like, I want Monaco to be interesting, but like interesting in a way that's not detrimental to my mental well-being. And evidently that's just too much to ask.
No, you can't ask for entertaining and not detrimental to our well-being in the world of Formula One or racing in general. But there is actually one penalty that we forgot to talk about. There's one penalty. There weren't 6 penalties, there was 7. There's one more. It was for Charles, and it is 3 more years of Ferrari.
Oh, yeah, you're so right. Because my man, it came out that last week leading into Monaco that he had re-signed or signed an
And I'm
extension on.
so glad he did. But
Oh yeah, don't take our sadness and like making fun of this. I'm so glad Charles is staying at Ferrari.
it's
But
we're
I mean, you got job security for his therapist. You've got like job security for just like our mental well-being being in like the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
you've got guaranteed employment for our therapists.
Yes.
Like,
And it's so funny because it was like, what do you, oh, and just like the timing was impeccable in the worst way possible that he signs this extension and then DNFs at Monaco
with like 8 laps to go, maybe not even. Yeah, it's like we are just
on the cusp of a double podium.
we need to confess our sins to the Lord because we are gluttons for pain. We are simply just gluttons for torture. And that's the only way to put it. Like, we get so much joy out of being Ferrari fans, and we are being tortured at the same time, and we love it. We are some sadistic, masochistic fucks. I mean, that's all I can really say about it. Like we're some kinky fans. We love being tortured. And that's all we got to say about it. What does it say that we are like, yes, our favorite driver who is constantly being abused in multiple forms, re-signed to continue doing that, and like also continues to abuse us in the same way. Like, what does that say about us?
Totally mentally stable.
Yeah, 100%. I work in a psychiatric hospital right now, and I don't think any of us need to go there. Unless Charles loses one more race.
But you know what?
Day.
Everybody's got time to pay the Etsy witches to like remove the curse again off of Charles and Carlos, and like
we
got time to turn it around. And by turn it around, I mean like, can we do that now? Because we got another race this weekend. Thank God, though, that we have another race this weekend.
Barcelona. Oh, speaking of races in Europe, in Spanish-speaking countries, I got a really great message this morning from AirBnb in Spain. And they go, "Hey girl," not actually, they said, "Hello. Due to a family, like, not event, but family matter.
Situation or something. I don't know. Short story long, our Airbnb host wanted us to cancel because of this situation. And then Hannah was like, no. You're going to cancel us, but we get refunded and help from Airbnb. No. So we're temporarily homeless for our stay in Barcelona, but I'm not worried about it. We're going to get rebooked. It just really was a little bit unfortunate and not a fun message to wake up to.
It's quite frustrating because it's very... I looked back on the first B&B that we tried to book, the one that was really cute, that declined because they were like, "Oh, we don't think we're going to be still B&Bing at that point." They still are. And they just like rebooked people for triple the price. And that's what I'm pretty sure these people are doing to us. And so it's not so much about getting them in trouble or anything, but I did message Airbnb before they canceled because if we cancel, it looks bad on us and we don't get as much help on that. But I messaged Airbnb and I said, "Hey, we booked over a year in advance." I checked. It wasn't about a year. It was over a year in advance. We booked in August so that we could avoid these prices because we came for this event. And they canceled with less than 90 days. Prices have tripled. Like, we need your help. And the little Airbnb AI was like, "Of course, like, we don't see any active cancellations in your trips at the moment. But, like, if you get, like, if they do cancel on you or when they do, we can help you rebook at a similar place for a similar price." And so I did screenshot that. That's not leaving. They will help me or so help them because I will be coming for them. For real. I will be bringing a pitchfork and I will be sacrificing everything I own in order to get to that race. So
yep. So just a little meh. It's fine. We've got not a ton of time, but we'll figure it out. And we'll figure it out probably this week, I bet.
I was gonna say I'll figure it out tonight. However, the Spurs are playing tonight, so it's
go Spurs go.
Tonight. Go Spurs go.
Go Spurs go.
If you are a Knicks fan, sorry. You are loved and you are a valid human being, and I appreciate that. I have a lot of friends who are Knicks fans, unfortunately.
Sorry.
However, if you are the Knicks fans that are literally like physically assaulting Spurs fans in New York, go fuck yourself. That's all I gotta say about that. And go Spurs, of course.
Go Spurs go. Go Spurs go. Um, but yeah, we got Barcelona this weekend. Should be a good one. I'm excited.
It feels weird having 2 race weekends in a
I
row.
know. It's like we had one and then, a drought of 18 years and then you'd have another one and then there were like 27 years in between. But now we get like we looked at it, well, I know we talked about it last week. There's like several double headers. Like we never go more than like a week, I think, without a race until summer break.
Yep. It's really nice.
Let's go.
So, yeah, with that,
But yeah.
thank you for tuning in to our Monaco Grand Prix and for being gluttons for pain with us in this journey.
Yeah, what could have been a really boring, well, I don't even want to say boring episode, but would have been a very off the wall, who knows what the hell we would have talked about episode 2. Man, we have a lot to talk about episode.
Well, it's also like one last little side note. We were at like 18 minutes into this episode when we started talking about like the last 15 laps.
Yeah.
So,
oops.
Hey,
thanks for sticking with us, guys.
We're some talkers, and that's why you love us. So, anyways, I'm Hannah.
I'm Sydney.
And it's lights out.
And away we go. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye.